Hi, this is Alex Staropoli from Rhapsody of Fire. You're listening to Paolo Aracast.
Thanks again for your time, Alex. It's a pleasure talking to you today. I'm very curious, going back in time, I remember reading interviews about this legend that was born called Rhapsody back in the day, and everyone was calling them symphonic power metal. And then you're like, oh, wait a second, we actually prefer the Hollywood metal type of label or genre, if you prefer. So how is that still today? Because I think maybe as a follow-up question, you also do and produce soundtrack for movies, right? So I'm just curious on that side of your work. How is that progressing today, and back in the history, how was that set up as a genre or a new label for Rhapsody?
Yeah, well, in the beginning, we wanted to describe our music in a spectacular way, and symphonic metal, symphonic power metal, they sounded a bit restricting. So Liv Schnorr, our first, the owner of our first label, he thought maybe if you call yourself like something like Hollywood metal, that would be more clear that you really want to be connected to the movies. And some people didn't get that, and they thought Hollywood. Actually, it sounded a bit childish, but it was a way to make the people understand that we wanted to produce and create music that would be connected with images. You know, would create images into the listeners' minds. You know, so after we changed that into film score metal, which is would be more serious, if you know what I mean. And yeah, well, as far as Hollywood, I have never reached that area, but I did made a soundtrack for a movie for a director actually living in LA, and it was a great experience. And yeah, great.
That's awesome. Okay, over to you, Renan.
Yeah.
Alex, when I started listening to heavy metal back in the early 2000s, Rhapsody was the first band I knew that brought the keyboard as the main instrument along with the guitars, playing solos and being a very important part of the songs. And it inspired me to try to play this instrument, but of course I'm not good as you are. I feel that over the years, your keyboard lines are changing and becoming more powerful. In Glory for Salvation, the last album, I felt that the keyboard lines are one of the main characters in the songs, along with the arrangement seems to have gained more strength and sounds very inspired. Do you keep studying the instrument, studying music, and how do you try to evolve as a musician?
Well, I must say that a big part of the evolution of the Rhapsody of Fire sound is Roberto De Micheli. Of course, composition-wise, I composed a lot of songs by myself, a lot of parts I arranged by myself, but it's the guitar. The guitar is really important. So Robbie De Micheli is really writing a lot of material, a lot of guitar riffs, and when a guitar riff, I find it interesting and stimulating. This also brings me to situations, and it pushed me to create orchestral arrangements and play keyboards in a certain way, a different way. So it's inspiring for me to have good guitar riffs, guitar rhythms. And this is almost the best, maybe the best part of my job, to be inspired by guitars. I want Rhapsody of Fire sounding like an heavy metal band, you know, not a keyboard player project, you know. So I don't really think about in this term. I just do what I like. So when I write new songs, of course, I want to write new songs, not to repeat myself, and I want to be inspired, excited about. So after a song is done, I want to be happy about it, and I want to, if I feel that the fans should hear that, that means that I'm satisfied, and this song is going to end up in the album, you know.
Great. And do you sit together to compose songs, or you do like
No,
one?
not really. No, not really. I with Robbie is sending me over a lot of stuff, and then I listen, and then we discuss, and we exchange opinions and files. Normally, when he send me some guitar riffs, I immediately create drum and bass on my session, and so to listen how it works with drum bass and basic keyboards, and that's enough for me to understand this can lead somewhere or not, and most of the times it does, and yeah, that's the way. And then, you know, I take step by step, jump from one song to another. One day I do something, another day I do something completely different. I don't work on the same song for like 2 weeks until it's done. Sometimes I do that, but I prefer to change mood and start fresh every day, something different, and yeah.
If I can ask a follow-up question, is there any special reason that brought you to London in terms of your musical career? Are you looking for new aspirations being in London? And maybe how is that to work with the rest of the team, the band members from London?
Well, I have to say that I live here more than 4 years, and London is well connected. Even with Trieste, my hometown, there is a direct flight with Ryanair. So if I need to go there, it's very easy. And but basically, there are different steps. Composition-wise, I do stuff alone, as I said, or I work with Robbie, even if by the distance. And then when we meet, we record guitars, and we do some stuff in person, some stuff by the distance. But at the end, when you have clear idea of what to do, it doesn't really matter, you know. Maybe some bands, they like to sit all together and compose. This is not what Rhapsody of Fire is about. Initially, we were just Toridi and myself composing everything, and now it's me and Robbie. And so we have to take the best of the situation, of course. I'm really happy. I'm here because of personal reason, but I could live anywhere because I basically have my laptop, my system, and it's pretty portable, and I don't have big studio, heavy gears. I sold that. So I lived in Spain for a year. I lived in Belgium for 2 years. Now I'm here and I'm happy. I don't want to be in Italy for sure. Right now, I would never go back to Italy to live for sure. Vacation, yes, not to live.
Good. Renan, do you want to go next?
Yes, so now I will ask a question related to the last album, Glory for Salvation. Something that stands out is the longer song of the album, Abyss of Pain 2. When I see that a certain song is the longest of the Rhapsody of Fire album, I already know that I will listen to something special. I feel these songs, the longer ones, are a little more cinematic than the others, and I like that a lot. Those songs always have a different atmosphere. Is this something you do on purpose, or does it come naturally?
Well, I must say in this part of my life, when I create songs, I don't decide to do, okay, this album I want to do a long song. It has to be over 20 minutes. I don't do that anymore. I'm not interested. I just do that if at some point in the production, while I'm finishing the composition and I have a big overview on the entire CD, some songs could be extended, and then I tried it out. I tried it out, and with Abyss of Pain is like 10 minutes 45. It's not even a very long song, but I wanted to create something orchestral for the intro, for the outro. Use the real instruments I I could have. So many times it's about the instruments I can have. When I know which are the players that I can have, then I decide if I want to use them, in which way, for just for a little part, or maybe for something more extended. And it's I let myself go and see where the songs are going to bring me. So it's something I do normally in the very last part of the composition process.
Great.
Stuff. Sorry, Alex, I think you already answered many times this question, but I have to ask you again. How that actually happened, and how was meeting Christopher Lee?
It was fantastic. It was great. And in the beginning, we just wanted a narrator, and at the time we were working with Joy DeMaio as management, and they say, why not? Let's try it out. We thought it was impossible to get a guy like that, and but in the end we got it. We flew to London, we met him, and after we finished to do all the narrations, which was a fantastic moment of it was incredible, because we could not believe this guy was really
Goosebumps.
narrating the words. And we were recording material that we knew we would have used through many albums, so it was really engaging for us. It was just a narration that we know, okay, this will go on the next album, and then that's it. No, we were doing many narrations that would have bring the Christopher Lee voice all over the new saga, So and then at some point, when everything was recorded, he came out of the recording studio, and he just proposed us to sing. He wanted to sing. He was upset because nobody asked him to sing, because everybody wants him to do movies and do narrations and stuff like that, but nobody is asking him to sing. And then he said, can you at least make me sing? And so we had a beautiful song, and we decided to re-record it in a different format with him and with Fabio in so many different languages. It was a very big effort. He was totally into it. So at the end, it was, in the beginning, we commissioned him to do narrations, but at the end, it was his idea to sing. And so there it became a collaboration, and that was incredible.
I could be wrong, but I think that was kind of motivated him to have his own band, like Charles Magn, I think, was the band. Was because that participation with Rhapsody.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't really like that.
I would ask
that. After, I don't know, because I've just listened a few tracks, and oh my God.
What would you have done differently?
Well, we spent a lot of time with him to get his singing, to get his vocals, and it was a big effort, believe me, because he could sing some opera, some sentences here and there, but he's not a singer, Yeah. So we really had to sit down, and with time and patience, we produced the everything, and it was a big effort. It was not easy to do. So I think that what he was involved with after Rhapsody, it was not so done the way it should have been, but we were the first that we used Christopher Lee. So it's important for me to say that, because many times when I read stuff, yes, Christopher Lee, the guy who would sing Charlemagne, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Saruman, yes.
I know it in Italian, but we brought him to the world. We took him as a collaboration. We together delivered this music in the metal world, So
that was huge.
What we did was more close to the fantasy world. you know,
Yes.
more close to Lord of the Rings, you know, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The music and the deepness of the message, you know. So, yeah, of course, I'm really proud of what we did.
Yes, I think he had a really beautiful voice, a deep voice, but for singing, I think his voice was like a square. You know what I mean? It's not like smooth. It's like a square, and he had to listen how to sing. But it's a good voice for do speeches.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think, Renan, you had a question on the new singers. Oh, lots of pressure on Giacomo. Fabio really raised the bar. Do you want to go ahead with that?
Yes. Yes, I have a question related to the new singer. Not new, because he is a few years in Rhapsody.
5 years.
Well,
5 years already.
yes, 5 years. Yes.
Time flies.
Time flies since 2017. Okay, choosing a new singer always creates a lot of expectation for the fans to know if the band will follow new ways or keep doing this, going for the same path they already built. I read in an interview that you met him through a TV show. He debuted on the album The Eighth Mountain, demonstrated that he was very capable of being the new voice of the band. On Glory for Salvation, I believe he gave a step forward and put his personality and gave some of his personal influence into the songs. Was him your first choice for this job?
Yeah, well, I have to explain. I saw him on TV, and he was performing some Led Zeppelin song. He was literally the rocker in that TV series, and I was impressed. And at the time, I was searching for choirs members because we were recording Into the Legend, and I didn't have a really good choir. I wanted to create a very big rock choir, and so I called him up and asked him if he wanted to join us in Trieste to do the choirs. And it happens that he was teaching, so he had some students and some friends. So we met in Trieste and we recorded this big choir for Into the Legend, and that's the first time I met him, you know, and we really get along really well. The recording went really good. So when Fabio decided to leave the band, I immediately called Giacomo because I really thought that he was the guy. So the first step was to present him to the world, and we registered, we re-recorded all the Rhapsody of Fire songs, and we did Legendary Years. And it was a nice idea to present him, you know, to let the fans understand how he would work and sing for these songs. And but of course, the most important first step was to record this new saga, and The Eighth Mountain, and of course with Glory for Salvation. It's very clear that the talent is incredible, and the margin for improvement is also there, you know, so we are very happy about the result. And I must say that even FM Records as a label, they are very happy and also positively surprised, because it's not that obvious that a band, when they change singer, they will keep going, you know. And actually we are keep going, and we had some incredible results when we did the first tour. We played The Eighth Mountain entirely, and the fans knew every song, and you know, Giacomo was well accepted since the very beginning, and this is just incredible.
And did you guide him in any way so he could fit into the band sound, or did you let him free to put his personal influence in some ways?
Well, I think that any singer has his own style, but also his background. And you know, I assisted at every vocal recording in my life. So I produced vocal recording. So the most important thing for me when I'm recording a new album are the vocals, and I have to be there. I have to be the person that records, and I write all the vocal melodies and the harmonies and everything. So Giacomo is writing the lyrics. So we put together these two elements, and we start. You know, he knows what Rhapsody of Fire should sound, vocals for Rhapsody of Fire should sound. So there's not so much of discussion because he knows already what to do. And sometimes we have fun, you know, we sing in different languages, we sing in Japanese, and you know, we do a lot of choirs, we take care about every little details, you know. Sometimes his voice is a bit tired, so we say, okay, let's stop it today, let's go by the pool, or let's go cook something, you know. So we really take the time to do everything perfectly. But the voice has to be perfect, and so the choirs and everything we do involving Giacomo.
Which, Alex, can I ask you, have you got the ambition? Maybe you do, but have you ever tried to put in practice anything in bigger proportions, something like Trans-Siberian Orchestra or Avantasia, you know, those huge metal operas? Have you ever thought something about it?
No, not really. I grew up with the band idea, you know. For me, 6 people is already too much in a band. So 5 is already acceptable. 4 is ideal, but 5 is okay.
Like
6
a marriage.
is too much. Yeah, but wait, Avantasia, it's a fantastic project. I mean, this is really. I saw them a few times also here in London. They are incredible. I mean, it's really, Toby did something really incredible, and the ability to involve many different singers. It's always, I think it's engaging because it's always something fresh. In every song you have something, you know, some different musicians. I think it's really good. It's fantastic. But I know I'm not up to that. There's too much organization and stuff. I prefer to
just play.
Yeah.
Can I? Maybe this is my last question. I'll leave another time for Renan as well. I think I heard somewhere. I'm not sure if it's right or not, but you were invited to reunite with the original members, but you couldn't because you're busy with the Rhapsody of Fire. So can the fans expect a reunion of the original members one day? Another farewell tour, maybe?
Well, I have to be clear about that. Myself and Luca Turilli, we met in person to talk about this. I was in Trieste at the time, and we met over a dinner, and we started talking, and we had some common grounds, but at some point there were too many different people involved. I work with my agency, which is 9 Lives, and he's working with another agency. He has a manager. I don't have a manager. Then there is this another guy from Latin America managing Fabio. So it was to organize that, it was a bit complicated, and for me there was too much hemorrhage of money going out. So for me, already starting with this starting in this way, it was not good for me. I mean, it was clear that half of the money was already thrown in between agency and personal manager and bullshit like this. I said, okay, let's see if we can do it anyway. And at the end, we didn't make it because first of all, you have to understand, we grew up, and myself, we knew each other since we were kids.
Yeah.
So we were teenagers, we started working together, and then at a certain point, we decided to not work together anymore, to take separate ways. And once you do that, if you don't do that, because then after 5 years you want to get together again and do something more. For me, a decision like this is it's forever. I mean, if you decide that, it's decided, you know. And also when Fabio left, Alex also left, and you know, the mood already to start with was not so fantastic to reunite with people who left, people who didn't, you know, trust in the new situation to work with me, etc. So it was, you know, was not sure, but I say, okay, let's see if for the fans we can do something. But at the end, no, there were some things that didn't feel good, and I prefer to say sorry, but no. So right. I prefer to go on with Robbie and Rhapsody of Fire, you know, concentrate on what we do. And yeah, I'm not saying it is impossible, but it's very difficult that this would really happen in the future, because to make this happen, you really have to make the personal relationship good. Yeah. If there is no respect, if there is no trust, if there is even the minimal negative thinking about this, I don't want to be part of this. I'm done with this bullshit. You know, in Rhapsody of Fire now, we talk. Everything is clear. If there is something, we sit down, we talk, we discuss everything, and you know. So when we go on tour, everybody's happy, and you know, we really enjoy the moment. We have fun with the music. We, you know, I know it's not easy, but we try to do that, you know. So I don't want to get through the past again, you know, unless there is a big, you know, event that changes everything, you know.
Right. That's good, yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, my last question will be a simple one. Any plans for a tour in South America or even in Brazil this year?
Yeah, we are trying to. Okay, now we have. We still didn't release that, but we just released the French section of the tour. We are going to start in March 2023. We have the entire European dates already set. We will release this new, I think, soon. After that, we will chase up with US and Latin American dates. We already have dates for US for 2023. So I hope if this is happening, it would be great. We are really looking forward.
Yes, especially that I never been to a Rhapsody of Fire concert before.
Hope you will have the chance then. Yeah,
I may need to book my flights to Brazil again.
Oh God, yeah, you are all invited, of course.
Thank you. If ever in Ireland, let me know as well. That'd be great to see you here.
Yeah, of course.
I don't have any more questions, Alex. I'm not sure about you, Renan.
No, it's okay as well.
Just to be respectful of your time, and just to say thanks as well for talking to us today. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. It was a pleasure.
Thank you a lot, Alex.
Thank you for your support and your time. Thank you.
Thanks again. Good luck.
Good luck. Bye.
Good luck.
Bye.
See you soon.
Burn if I take my place in